building up a successful stock, right? And there are certain points and interesting points over here, and then we'll come up to your practical implementation one by one. Right, like I told you, like this is coming as security as a service, as we are calling up over here, which deals with intrusion detection and security event management, SEM. Just before the break, we talk about SIM and EM. Okay, so to run a successful SOC, we need these four things. First thing is human resource, technology and tool, infrastructure and management and tools. Human resource, right? Again, coming to and mapping to the part from where we have started off the session today, L1, L2, and you are in a mood to build up a team. So think in this perspective, like you are on a broader level right now, maybe a SOC manager, and you are making up a team right now. The team that you make should be having a multi skill set. When I say this thing, a multi skill set means like that person can know networking, no issues. That person can know forensics, no problem. That person can have a background of electronics, no issues. Okay, network engineering, no problem. Network for sure you need to know, right? There are certification written over here, CISSP, CISM, and CCNA. And before that, it is written may have, right? Because like if you're looking for the top notch positions over there, at least a lead position or an assistant manager or manager over here, we should look for these things. But CISSP is a very big game. CISM is a very big game over here. Okay, so we don't consider this thing. It's a may have thing. A SOC manager can have this thing. There's no problem. But if you're starting from the scratch, L1, L2 till shift lead, you don't need these things. With experience, 4 to 5 year experience, if you have, then you can have these certs, especially CSSP, CSM, and CISA if you talk about. CCNA is like good to have, there's no problem. So the thing is like because SOC environment is very dynamic. As you can see in the whole session, I'm again saying it is coming from various things. Logs are coming from various ways. Okay, so that is one thing. And 24 hours is there, and shift should include at least two security analysts that have a higher position, and the responsibilities should be clearly defined. At least two people. Okay, so this is the thing that we require. Technology and tool, for sure, like whenever we are talking about this thing, you need a sim solution in front of you as well. Okay, so log collection and report generation, the same thing. And the last three lines which are written over here, that minimum 3 screens are required in the SOC room, and we maintain proper temperatures. And when we talk about the tools for over here, tools means like sim for sure. So HP ArcSight, Logarithm, RSA, NetWitness is there, IBM Curadar, Alien Vault, USM is there, Unified Security Management, Microsoft Azure Sentinel is there. These things are popular in the market, and we deliver also, and we implement these kind of things for sure. And you must have seen across the globe as well, these kind of stuff. All right, infra, when we talk about guys, infra, right? So management and process is the last point, and we talked about technologies and tools. And before that, we talked about human resource. Okay, so whenever we talk about infra, there is like location of the SOCs, physical security, surveillance, and extreme temperature. Location of the SOC. Location of the SOC is critical. It's one of an critical asset of an organization for sure. There can be an in-house team and there can be an external team as well, which can be hired for this kind of thing. Right. So it can be either located in your own premises or it can be deployed over at some stage over the cloud and you are able to manage that too. That is also possible. Right. So it depends from infra to infra over here. We cannot define that, okay, it has to be internal only. No. Internal SOC is there, external SOC is also there. Okay. Physical security, surveillance, and extreme temperatures. Right. So when we talk about guys, physical security, SOC room, especially whenever you see in the real life, there will be a biometric thing is not there, right? Generally, we don't give the thumb impression over there. We use those ID card, RFID scanner is there. You give present the RFID scanner and you need to enter the code and then you can come in and then you can come out. Whenever you come in, you need to provide the code. Come out, you can do it easily, like you can punch in and you can come out over. Just like the same way you do it when you come out of the office and come in again. Right. So that's a proper rule over there. A security rule control is applied. Every time you go in and come back, you need to punch the card and provide the code. Especially in the SOC, it is there. Okay. Surveillance. Yes, surveillance. Now we can talk about that example CCTV. CCTV can be deployed right at the entry gates, not inside, right? You cannot say the employees are privacy over here. But yes, outside the things because you need to protect your asset, so we can have this CCTV surveillance over there for sure. And you must have seen in the office premises, it is always there. Okay, extreme temperatures. Extreme temperatures over here, like simply means like your heat ventilation control, AC over there. And since you are using three screens, just in the previous slide we talk about, so three screens will generate a lot of heat as well. So there is a proper temperature that we maintain, just like we maintain in the data center or in the server room. We have to maintain in the SOC room as well, because you'll be having a team of 50 people or 60 people, let's suppose. So you need to maintain the temperatures for sure. Otherwise, overheating will happen and infra can go to a very good level damage over there. Okay, that is one thing that we can talk about. Management and process, right? So management and process, here you will define, guys, like what is your scope. For example, like number of customers, right? Number of servers that are to be monitored, routers, firewalls, IPS, right? These are to be integrated into the tool or not. What does your corporate policy allow or disallow? You will not cross that particular border whenever you are dealing with your member firm or the clientele. Okay. Services that the SOC team will provide. It is not like everything you will give them. No. If it is like logging, analyzing, it has to be everything, inch to inch, everything, every sector you will cover. Okay. Whenever we talk about, let's suppose IR, it has to be like maximum what you can provide from the tools or what is allowed in your environment. You cannot go beyond and you can say, okay, I need a Maltego for it. Nobody will give you, right? Whatever is available, you have to take those things, right? So threat intelligence, yes, it has cut down a lot of time over there in that case. If you talk about the process part, right? And management is like we are talking about these things we define in the scope. So whenever you are on a tech call, right, and you're dealing with your member firm or your clients, these things and these listed points you can have in your point. These are some common points, right? There are many other things which comes up. These are some common points. What are the number of servers that you will say? Okay, what is the corporate policy that you will follow and what is followed in their infra? You need to understand that too as well. And you need to clearly define that what you will do and what you will not do and what you are not authorized to do. It has to be clear in the beginning only. Otherwise, violation happens, you will receive a huge warning mails from the company or the member firm. Huge, right? So these things are possible. Cool. We'll be talking about functions as well, guys. Let's talk about functions. Okay. So we have two functions mainly over here. Two, three functions are there. And then I'm coming to the practical part. Cool. So data aggregation, real-time monitoring, one thing, and reporting is there, and after action analysis, that is your IR. Okay. So data aggregation, I will not repeat the same line in front of you. It is nothing but the collection part, okay, that you are getting from multiple sources. Second thing is data correlation. So like two or more events are combined to learn the intelligence of the occurred suspicious events and can help to understand whole incident scenario. Following technique is to perform narrow down the scope and detecting the suspicious detective logs. Like we talk about normalization, categorization, prioritization, and coordinated response and remediation. Categorization is something, guys, and prioritization, right? In which category you will follow. So it can be like a network segment over here or a web team, or if somebody is good at looking into more of forensics or IR part, you will categorize, right? And today this categorization, guys, we make off with attack and MITRE framework. Keep that thing in mind. Attack and MITRE today will tell you how to do the threat attribution, right? So everybody will remember this thing, and this thing we should discuss, guys, anyhow by tomorrow, because we will be discussing your IR for sure. And in this case, you should know about this stuff. Okay. So categorization, like most of the SIM solution nowadays, they are incorporating this thing, attack and MITRE, and people are using it too for the categorization, the threat attribution part. Okay, prioritization, you must have seen like tickets, like whenever we say P1 ticket, P2 ticket, P3 ticket, as per the priority, if it is like high priority ticket, so it is like a very much destructive thing happening up in the SOC room. You need to get it solved as soon as possible. So low, medium, high, we can categorize this two as well over there. And according to the priority, we have to solve as fast and as we do and give a possible recommendation for it. Correct. Coordinated response and remediation. This part will come up over there in the IR thing. Coordinated response in the remediation. Okay. So these things are there. Right. And reporting, guys, if we talk about reporting, we have three things written over here: executive summary, audit and assessment, and security metric reporting. Okay, so let me go ahead one by one, guys. Executive summary is for the high level management. When I say high level management, which people will be included? CTO will be included or not? Technical officer. Okay, CISO will be there. Correct. This people will be included up over here, and we can include like your manager or these things for sure on a very broader level. For example, I give them a report, and what they will look for, they will look at the first four pages. They will say, okay, Karan, you have made a pie chart, you have made a bar graph over there. Okay, out of 10%, I see 6% of the events or the risk is there. Let's try to figure that first. So they will not go ahead. It's a very on a very broader level. We write, okay, this is the risk matrix, this is the thing that we need. It is not a detailed report. It's a very executive, it's a very summarized report over there. Okay, then we talk about this audit and assessment. Audit and assessment, you're right, compliance one thing, right? And audit and assessment, we can include one more point over here, that all the technical audit and assessment that you share with the client as a proof of vulnerability or compromise, or you can say POC, proof of concept. Okay, so follow up is to be taken over here. Follow up is to be taken ensuring that incident has been fixed. So for example, you say, okay, Karan, that you apply a policy of a password, right? A general policy of a password says that you need to change the password, server password, in 1 year, 1 month, sorry, not a 1 year, 1 month. And I forget to change this thing. What I do is like your SIM solution, these things are getting the triggered. You'll be getting things from the event log or the error log, and you'll have this thing that nobody has changed the password. Right. In that case, you need to take the follow-up, ensuring that the incident will be fixed. Even after the things has been mitigated or the password has been changed, you have to do a re-verification over there. And this is the actual area where people fails. Triaging, validation, re-verification. Okay, security metric report. Security metric report is actually a very detailed report. Very detailed report, right? So detailed report on the current security posture, on the current security posture. Example, guys, example. Appliance, you take any appliance. Okay, Cisco appliance you take any firewall thing. Correct. So network devices you take, and you face any kind of problem with them, zero-day attack is there. Okay, so you can share this thing. You can share this thing with the senior management, and they will be talking about the decision making, whether this thing you have to take care with you or not. So it's a very detailed report. Everything will be written inside this. Manufacturer also, risk also, what is the last update things you have seen, what is the issues that is going on in the security appliance. These all things will be taking up this part. Okay, so in case what happens, like why we are writing this thing into the functions of SOC, in this case what happens, let's suppose your client member firm wants to switch from one product to another product. These kind of things you will be taking care of. So generally people like delivery manager or pre-sales person, even the managers, they sit and they see the scope, that what is the scope. After that they learn and they use like matrices, risk matrices there. There is a question of KPI. We'll be not discussing KPI for sure over here. So KPI, we calculate Gartner's quadrant magic, right? Gartner's magic quadrant we use, and we say, okay, this is the product that we're gonna be rolling out in the next few months. So it will take a month. It is not like a direct activity over here. So that is the reason you guys should know that these things are happening up. All right.